Alright, my story starts off in 2005. Early 2005, had I had transferred to ISU in Normal, Illinois, and I had began my studies there. And I had rented a place there, and while I was renting it there, I found out that the unit the owner of the unit was watching me during my sleep and everything, and I got the the house was set up so that there was a back room, and the back room was occupied by myself, and the owner's son the owner's son would watch me when I came back from school. And at first I was messing around with him. I was making fun of rednecks and stuff like that, and I was pissing him off, and it got to the point where he pointed a gun there was a door handle that was missing in one of the doors, and it was filled with a plastic bag, and he pointed a gun into that thing, and you could hear his family yelling at him to calm down and to stop that, because I had gotten him upset by doing redneck impersonations and stuff like that. So he ultimately led to my decision to move out of there, and because I was being watched by him, and I moved into a new apartment, and I had noticed my neighbor across it was an alley, and across the alley my neighbor was female, and she seemed to be attractive. So from my neighbor, or not my neighbor, my landowner previous watching me, I got the idea to watch her, and I decided to put a camera to watch her home, but that didn't work too well. So I started watching her from the window, and she caught on to this, and she got upset. And I remember being out on the there was this like staircase that overlooks the alley, and I remember one night her saying that they wouldn't go to the cops, they would do something better, and I didn't know what that meant, but at the time, but later on I learned that they were going to get me into gang stalking. And her name was Amy, and after they saw me a couple times trying to look at her, they nicknamed me the voyeur, and they got like the community around that area, which was full of college students, to go along with it and call me the voyeur, and pretty soon I was being followed by her on my way to and from Naperville, where I live in the suburbs. And so when I would go up to Naperville for the weekends, she would follow me up there and follow me. There would always be cars following me up and down, and I got my first taste of gang stalking with. She would always follow me in a different car and stuff like that. So, and I would always assume it'd be there with the help of the college students. Now, after, and she found out that I talked in my sleep at night, and she interrogated me in my sleep, and she found out my secrets and stuff like that, and really caused my stress levels to go up. And so I got to the point where I filed stalking, or I went to the police and said that she was stalking me, and I went to the police and said that she was stalking me, and they had me committed to a mental hospital. And you know how it is with the multi-person stalking. They don't believe you, the police officers, and so they had me committed to a mental hospital, and I was there for some time. And then I got released, and when I got released, she was gone. And she was gone for, I got released in January of that year. That was January 2006. And she was gone. She was gone, and she came back then in March of that year, and I tried moving to at that time I was living in the suburbs in Naperville. I was living with my mom, and I had just, over the August of that year, I had just transferred to UIC, and I was living with my mom, and she came back, and because she knew the lady that lived below my mother, and so she would come back underneath the building and harass me there. So, and the lady downstairs joined in with the harassment too. And so I moved to my grandmother's, and my grandmother's also lived in Naperville. And so I moved to my grandmother's, and she's continued to stalk me there. And then I had over the summer of 2006, I went back into the mental hospital again because I was just so stressed out.